YouTube fan community, Beckley-Lamm-Wilson fans, random people on the internet. My name is Giggens, and we're here today to talk about the only album by Beckley-Lamm-Wilson, Like a Brother, released on June 20th, 2000. This came out after Carl passed away, and these were the last recordings that Carl was a part of. It's an interesting album that apparently took around 5 years to complete while Carl was still alive, and after he passed away, they kind of put the project on hold for a little while, then picked it up again to release it in his memory. It's an album that is really divisive amongst fans. I feel like people really dig it or can't get around the production or the song choices. And it's weird because, these are three super talented guys. You'd think that there'd be something else kind of sparking, something going on here, but it's definitely kind of a middle-aged guy's album. Guys in their late 40s getting together, putting some songs together and seeing what happens. Which isn't necessarily to say it's a bad album. It's, for me personally, there's just not a lot of spark on this thing. And I know that a lot of this was, not all of it was being recorded while Carl was passing away, because a lot of it was done in the years before then. It was basically done between tours with the guys and arranging times to meet and get together and put this thing together. So it took a while to get this completed, but Robert Lamm from Chicago, Jerry Beckley from America, and obviously Carl from the Beach Boys. Van Dyke Parks plays accordion on this, which is pretty cool. So it's nice to have a little more of a Beach Boys connection there. Where do I start with this thing? I'm really curious to know what you guys think about this. I'm going to put that out there right up front because I really want to like this, but there's nothing to not like about it per se, but it just doesn't hit the eardrums, you know? There are moments on this album for sure that absolutely do, but overall, you're left kind of feeling like, which is kind of a drag to say because obviously a lot of time and effort went into this thing. And again, this is just my opinion. So if you're watching this and you love this album, please continue loving this album. That's the cool thing about music and discussion. We can talk about it and learn from each other. So it's pretty cool. But it opens up with Today, which I actually really do enjoy this song. Carl rocks the lead vocal really well. It's got huge mid-90s, adult contemporary drums on it. They're having a good time. Carl's voice always got better with age. The older he got, the better his voice sounded. He always had a great sounding voice anyway, but this could have been a massive hit, on the radio. If they put this out as a single, this could have done really well for itself. It's a good rocking good time. That one definitely has some energy to it. Track 2, Feel the Spirit, was written by Robert Lamm, Peter Wolf, and Phil Gladstone, who helped produce this thing. He also co-wrote some of the songs on it as well. Robert sings lead with this one. The chorus on this is very adult contemporary, kind of a sappy song, pleasant enough, but not something I'm gonna go back to. Then you get track 3 with I Wish for You. Carl wrote this for his family, knowing he wasn't gonna be around much longer. He kind of knew what was gonna happen. And this is absolutely an incredible song. I Wish for You is one of the best 90s Carl vocals you can ask for. Super sweet acoustic track about looking for and wishing the best for those you're going to leave behind, because you can't be there to be that support no matter what. You're always going to be there for them no matter what, but then you won't be there. So you hope that somebody will kind of take your place, or you'll find it in friends or family or just life in general. But it's an excellent, tender, beautiful ballad. Carl sings great. Very minimal instrumentation and production. It just works really well because of that. I wouldn't say it's a dry production, but it reminds me of Heaven, Carl's song Heaven. Absolutely gorgeous track. Run Don't Walk comes after that. Fun chorus. Carl is in fine Carl mode on this one. Could have easily been a 90s Beach Boys song with a little bit more production in terms of the vocal arrangement and putting some stuff in the background. This could have been a Beach Boys song. Great sparky energy and enthusiasm with this one, plus a sax solo. Totally 60s there. It's got that whole, if you want it, come and get it vibe. Digging that one. That's a good song. Watching the Time. This is Jerry with Rob and Carl. Robert Lamm. Let's just call him Rob. The accordion from Van Dyke Parks is on this one. And I like that kind of searching feeling that the music has. Lyrically, it's about time slipping out of your hands, and the music definitely blends well with that lyrical idea. It just kind of matches together really well. They capture that essence of feeling with the lyrics. Life in Motion, track 6 on here. Robert did this one. Cool kind of funky production on this one. Long strummed out guitar notes. That when they sing motion, kind of slow, emotion, kind of slow, it's cool. Um, Good energy in this one. I'm actually digging the production of this song in particular. This one's actually not too bad. They kind of jam it out at the end. Sheltering Sky, all three sing together on this one. It's looking for a safe place, during hardships. Not bad. It's okay. Number 8, Their Only Words. Nice clean guitar, slightly minimal production on this one. Carl on lead. The verses are comfy. The chorus has a little bit of guts to it, I would say. The only drag I would say is it's too long. It just goes on for a long time, but doesn't really change anything or add anything different as it goes. It just kind of stays the same the whole way through. Without Her is a Harry Nilsson cover that was done for a Harry Nilsson tribute album in the mid-90s. And it's okay. Jerry sings lead on this one with the guys doing background vocals, and like it's all right. Like there's slap bass on it. There's kind of a weak guitar solo. Again, kind of too long. It's not bad. And the last song, Like a Brother, is also fantastic. Definitely going for a Beach Boys feel with this one for sure, with sleigh bells, drums doing the weird Brian Wilson drum pattern thing. Written for Brian, lyrics by Phil, the producer. Apparently, as the story goes, they had the music for this track, but we're trying to figure out lyrics for it. And then it kind of hit Phil one day about, maybe if I wrote something in Carl's point of view about Brian. I'm not sure when exactly the song was written, because as the story goes, as Carl and Phil were hanging out together at Carl's place, Phil was explaining the song to him and like the lyrics, and he played it for him, and Carl really enjoyed the lyrics. And then Brian called on the phone as they were talking about it, and I guess Carl's wife Gina was like, they haven't talked in a year. So I'm not sure if that was like a really early song that had happened like during the end of the Landy era, or what was going on at that point. Because I know like Carl was at Brian's wedding and stuff, and Brian was around near the end of Carl's life. So I'm not really sure when exactly that was written. That's one of the harder ones to figure out. But it's a song about growing up and look at the things we've built together, looking for Brian on stage with all these fans, loving his music, but he's not there. And just kind of having that brotherly love kind of song. But that one's really decent. This is in a slipcase, so it's got the original hype sticker. It says, Jerry Beckley of America, Robert Lamm of Chicago, Carl Wilson of the Beach Boys, his final album. A powerful, inspirational collection of unforgettable songs featuring I Wish for You. Here's the back cover. And I'll show you what the inside looks like too. So same thing. And there's the disc. I do love the artwork. The clouds are really nice. I do like that. And the booklet has a couple pictures of the guys and the track information as to who sang what and who wrote it. So yeah, as a historical document to capture Carl's last recordings, in that sense, it's incredible because it's Carl Wilson. One of the best musicians, vocalists of all time. Like, he was just the best. So to have his last bunch of vocals and band activity together on a record, that is really special in and of itself. The material itself, I feel like, could be good or better, but the production is just, I don't want to use the word cheesy, but looking back on it now, it just sounds very 90s adult radio, which obviously at the time is just the way music sounded, so you can't really dog it for that because it's just how music sounded. That's like going back to 2001 and saying pop punk sounded like pop punk. It's just how it was. The 80s have the 80s sound. That's just it. Times have their sound, and this is a part of that. Not to say that, like, for me personally, I feel like the production stunts it a little bit. I feel like the songs have a lot of potential, and I feel like if they kind of worked a little bit longer on them and given them a little bit more body or spark, it could have been something completely different. But again, that may not have been the vibe they were going for. They may have been going for a more chill, guys in their 40s kind of vibe, just enjoying playing music together. And there's nothing wrong with that. If they had a good time, that's all that matters. So again, if you're watching this and you love this album, please continue loving it. Don't let my ideas or opinions matter because they don't. It's just my opinion. Make up your own mind. Think for yourself, as the Beatles say. So for me personally, 2 out of the 10 songs I really enjoy. The rest are okay. So I'd probably give this in like a 5 or a 6 out of 10, which I know is a super low rating, but it's like the replay value for me is extremely low. It's not something I gravitate towards, and it's not something I catch on to. There's not enough hooks or, memorable bits that stick out in my head. Like there's a couple of moments here and there that do, sure, but overall, it's not something I gravitate towards. But that's not to say that there's no talent or anything here. Like, obviously, these guys are super talented. A lot of work went into this. They enjoyed the process. They had fun making it. That's what matters at the end of the day. And if they enjoyed it, that's great. If you enjoy it, that's great. But yeah, it's just okay. It's great to have it for Carl's last recordings. But after that, it's probably just going to chill on my shelf until I pick it out once in a while and play a couple songs from it. So there you go. Yeah, 5 or 6 out of 10. I know, super low rating. No disrespect. This is just my opinion. If you love it, if you dig it, please continue loving it. But yeah, very curious to know your thoughts on this record because it's apparently really hard to find these days and out of print. I found a new copy, actually, so it was good to have a physical copy finally of this thing as well. But that's it. My name is Giggens. This has been Beckley-Lamm-Wilson, like a brother. Very curious to hear your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll get chatting about it. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.